Hey guys, my name is Ryan, and welcome to Overwatch Central. Today I'm sitting down with Boston Uprising main tank player and Team UK Giga Chad, as he's being called, Fusions, to talk about what changes are going to happen with this new patch. Baptiste goes into rank tomorrow, and of course all of that will be in for Stage 2. So I wanted to ask him, in general, if there's going to be any major changes with the tank play, and I think he gives some really solid, honest answers. There's no real hot takes here or anything like that, but if you want more of a straightforward breakdown to what the meta is going to be like, then this is the video for you. You can check out all of Fusion's Twitch and stuff in the description below, and let's get started with the first few questions. So we'll start with the main question, I suppose, Fusions. What is going to change in the next stage when it comes to tank play now that we have Baptiste in the game, and also this big patch as boop changes and all the like? So let's start with, where's it going to change?
So next stage, I think, in terms of tank play and main tanks, you're definitely going to be seeing a lot less Rein. Due to the boop changes, due to the speed nerfs, making Rein's less mobile, and also increasing the value of mobility on other heroes. Winston is definitely going to be quite good next stage. His primals boops have changed slightly, which make him a bit better. Also, the fact that like I said, his mobility gives him an edge over Rein. Also, Wrecking Ball is going to be seen probably in comps with DPS. I'm not really sure how much yet, but if DPS comps come out, especially like triple DPS comps to counter goats, Wrecking Ball is going to be really prevalent. Might see some Orisa as well in some of the bunker comps with DPS and spammy heroes.
It's probably going to be really early to call, but what do you think the standard meta is going to be? What is going to be the meta for Stage 2 in the Overwatch League and just the game as a whole?
It's kind of hard to say right now what the standout meta is going to be in the next stage, because it's kind of up in the air in the scrims right now, and people in comp are just playing whatever in order to practice right now, so it's kind of hard to tell. But I think on some places we're definitely going to see some DPS comps, especially maps like Koth and Control. I think on 2CP we're still probably going to see a lot of goats. Payload and Escort, probably a lot of goats as well. Winston goats though, as opposed to the Rein goats that we saw last patch, due to a lot of different changes that happened in the patch.
There are a lot of main tank players in the game, going all the way down to lower ranks, that still like playing that sort of role in the team. What should they be playing in preparation for the future, or just honing down their crafts on like Winston, Reinhardt? What should they be spending their time doing?
So if you're a main tank, I definitely think you should be practicing Wrecking Ball a lot now, as well as Winston, due to Winston Primal being a bit different now, so it's really useful to practice him. Also, Wrecking Ball in general, a lot of people haven't bothered to practice him yet because he's not really been a meta hero since he's been released. So now's a really good chance to practice him with DPS heroes and really test him out and get good at him.
What do you think of the knockback changes? Is that like a good or a bad thing for main tanks? And how impactful do you think it is for the role? Like, is it going to make it so you don't play Reinhardt anymore, as an example?
So the knockback changes affect tanks in a few ways. The first being the fact that Lucio and Brig and other heroes can boop people a lot further now and differently with the momentum. So that by nature makes Rein worse, because he's a very immobile hero as it is, and being booped around is like bad for Rein. So yeah, it definitely puts favor towards the heroes like Winston and Wrecking Ball, who are more mobile, but also the boop changes and the knockback changes affect Winston's primal as well, so it actually makes people easier to primal, get them in corners, and pop off with primal rage. So I think Winston, the boot changes make Winston a lot better, but they also nerf Rein quite a lot. I think one interesting thing about the next meta is going to be seeing what different comps are playing on played on different maps, especially the in Owl as well, because on a lot of control maps we might see a lot more DPS comps, due to the fact that Goats is worse on those maps due to it not being as snowbally. It's more about getting the point and then just holding certain areas. So we might see some more DPS on those maps especially, but Payload and 2CP is probably going to be more Goats focused, at least from what I've seen right now. So yeah, it should be interesting to see comps on different maps and where different comps are good and where comps are bad.
If you were to rank the main tanks from best to worst on impact in the game currently, because there's 4 now really with Wrecking Ball, what would that look like? Who are the best and worst main tanks to be playing?
So I think in terms of practice order at least, Wrecking Ball is definitely the top priority now. It's really important to practice Wrecking Ball. Most players haven't practiced him up until this point, and there could very well be points where he is in the meta soon. It's kind of uncertain right now, but I definitely say he's the most important to learn, followed by probably Winston. It's quite important to practice Winston now. The primal boops have changed slightly, so if you're a Winston player, you need to relearn how to use primal a little bit. Also due to the fact that he's going to be seen more in goats over the Reinhardt as well, due to the armor changes and the mobility changes, with speed being nerfed as well. I'd say Orisa is probably the third most important main tank right now. You'll probably see her in some bunker comps, and it's important for people that haven't played Orisa before if they want to learn Orisa. And I'd probably say the least important is Rein. Most people have been playing Rein for a long time now. People don't really need to practice him as much, but in general, he's probably not going to see as much playtime because the only comp that Rein really thrives in is Goats, and Winston is going to be played in a lot of areas in Goats comps that Rein isn't. I still think we will see some Rein, especially to counter Goats on closed points. For example, Icon World third point, or maybe Lijiang Control Center, but in general, Winston is going to be more prevalent.
And finally, where can people see more of you in the Overwatch League and also on your own personal stuff?
So if you guys want to follow me, you can follow me at Fusions, and I also stream from time to time when I'm not busy with our twitch.tv/Fusions_OW. So yeah.
And that's it for this time. Thank you very much for watching. If you want to check out more Fusions, I definitely would recommend it. He is a really cool guy, and he's come a long way in the last 6 months or so, ever since BlizzCon. I hope you enjoyed this video. Thanks for watching, take care, and I'll see you next time.